Hello everyone, welcome back to Redhead MMA, and in this video I'll be doing my first ever rankings video. Pretty hyped for this. I'm going to be doing a lot of these from now on. Rankings, tier lists, all of that, besides my usual predictions, reactions to fight cards and all of that. And today I'm starting off with a pretty simple ranking. I'm going to be ranking every division in the UFC, and let's just get right into it. Now, to absolutely no one's surprise, heavyweight is the last place for my rankings. Um, I love Tom Aspinall. I think he's a great champion, but even he can't save a division like this, man. Like, this is the only division in the UFC where just pure unathleticism is totally fine. Like, we live in a world where Shamil Gaziev is the number 11 heavyweight in the world, in the best mixed martial arts organization in the world. Um, and just the same guys fight each other over and over and over again. Um, where like that could become a reality soon for other divisions. Does that like ease the reality for this division and kind of the next one? Not yet. It's just it could become that. Um, all of these heavyweights, if they want to fight for the title, they got to pass the Marcin Tybura test or the Derek Lewis test. Um, and that basically determines where they're gonna be in the lineup for heavyweight. Like, um, you've got, and there are elite guys in heavyweight. It's basically just the top five, maybe the top six, if you like Jailton Almeida. But in his most recent performance against Volkov, he showed that he doesn't have any desire to do anything other than hold people down, if that's what it comes to. But like, Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gahn, Alexander Volkov, Sergey Pavlovich, Curtis Blades, Waldo Cortez Acosta, even Jailton Almeida, those guys are genuinely good fighters. But past that, there's literally nothing. Sergey Spivak isn't good. Derek Lewis, he'll randomly win or lose. It is pretty random. But like past that, like Marcin Tybura is just a gatekeeper, and like Tai Tuivasa is still ranked in the year of our Lord 2025, and that just is insane. The only real up and comer that exists in this division is Walter Walker, and I feel like his heel hooks can only get him so far. They've got him into the rankings at this point, but past that, I really don't know what it's going to do for him. But yeah, I just don't see like how you could rank heavyweight any higher than last. Every division brings something better to the table than heavyweight, and you just also have to point out the fact that heavyweight is the not most least entertaining division in the UFC. Uh, I like these guys. Besides the elite level top five guys, these all of them literally just blob at range every fight. Every heavyweight fight is the same outside of the top five. So that is why the heavyweight division is the worst one in the UFC. Going into number seven, and this might piss a few people off, but I've got flyweight in as my number seven pick. Flyweight is massively improving. Not that long. I don't know if it's not that long ago. It was number eight because heavyweight isn't hasn't been good for a while now. But flyweight is improving. There are like top guys, but Pantoja has beaten all of them except for Joshua Van, which is why it's exciting. Like it's cool to have a new exciting flyweight contender. Pantoja is at the point where he's so dominant in flyweight that he just is going to keep fighting these guys over and over and over and over again. Um, Pantoja's really dominant. Joshua Van's the only guy I feel like that even has a chance of stopping um, Pantoja. Like, and even then, I still feel like Pantoja is probably gonna win. Like, 'cause besides that, like, who is he gonna fight against? Is he gonna fight Brandon Moreno again? Like, I guess he could. He's next in line, I'd say, after this, because Brandon Royval is on on a losing one fight losing streak against Joshua Van, and he beat Tatsuro Taira. So like after Joshua Van, it's literally just Pantoja rematching the same guys over and over again. And past that, like there are guys that are good, like Tatsuro Taira is good, but he lost to Brandon Royval. Manel Kopp can't show up for a fight. Kyoji Horiguchi is looking really good. I'm really excited to see what he does after his performance on Saturday. Like Steve Erceg, a little bit chinny. He's finally winning again though. Actually, he's not really chinny. He lost one to a KO one time to Kai Kara France, but lost to Brandon Moreno unanimous decision. Pantoja beat Brandon Moreno. It's like, and Steve Erceg did actually have the closest fight against Pantoja, but even then, I still feel at this point, like now that it's been so long past that fight, like a year and a half, I do think Pantoja won that fight. But it's like Tim Elliott is still around. Um, he beat Kai Asakura, who isn't even ranked. Uh, and then like once you get to this point in the rankings, like you got Tagyro Umbekov, Alex Perez just lost, Charles Johnson. He did beat Joshua Van, but he hasn't done anything since. Bruno Silva has won. Like then you got Loner Kavanaugh. Like this just isn't a good division, and it's gonna start if Pantoja remains as dominant as he is. It's gonna start to have like the heavyweight effect. Like Tom Aspinall is beating all these top guys. Well, and Pantoja is going to start like just beating these guys over and over and over again. There's gonna be no new contenders. Like Kyoji Horiguchi is the only really new contender at this point. Actually, that's not true. Asul Mbekov. Sorry. Sorry, I switched slides there for a second. Asu Almabayev is also going through the rankings right now, but even he lost to Manel Kopp. So yeah, I love Pantoja. I love Joshua Van, and the top guys are really good in flyweight. And it is above heavyweight just purely based on the fact that it is a lot more entertaining to watch than heavyweight. So much more technical, fast paced. That's what I love about MMA. But yeah, that's why flyweight is number 7. The number 6 spot, I put light heavyweight. Alex Pereira is probably my favorite champion in MMA right now, but much like Tom Aspinall, he can't save a whole division. And let's not get it twisted. Light heavyweight is far and away better than heavyweight, but it's still lacking these guys that are going to be true threats to Alex Pereira. So you look at light heavyweight, you look at the top 5, top 10. You've got Yuri Prohaska as the number 1 contender. He lost to Alex Pereira by KO twice. Magomed Ankalaev just lost dominantly to Alex after winning a pretty close decision in their first fight. Carlos Ulberg, good. I don't think he's going to be able to really stand a chance against Alex Pereira. And you could honestly give him the title shot. Like Yuri has lost twice. It's hard to justify a third fight against him, even though he is the number 1 contender. So I still think even if you give Carlos Ulberg the title shot right now, he's not going to be able to beat Alex Pereira. Khalil Roundtree, murked by Alex Pereira. Jan Blachowicz. Actually, Jan Blachowicz did decently well against Alex Pereira, I'm not going to lie. Jamal Hill, destroyed by Alex Pereira. He's also just fat. Um, and then Azamat Murzakanov, he doesn't deserve. I mean, he can get a top contender fight, a top five fight. I don't. I don't think she had a title eliminator. Dominic Reyes just lost to Carlos Ulberg. Um, Volkan Ozdemir. He just beat Alonzo Menafield. That doesn't mean he's deserving of much, really. Rakic. Is Rakic on like a four-fight losing streak? Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's four fights at this point. Um, and like keep going down the list. Bogdan Guskov. He his latest win is Nikita Krylov. That is deserving of much praise. Nikita Krylov is pound for pound chinniest fighter in the UFC, arguably right now. Johnny Walker will fluke his toughest fights and get chinned in his what should be his easiest fights. Um, go past that, Nikita Krylov, like I just said, pound for pound chinniest fighter right now. Zhang Mingyang um, beat Anthony Smith, lost to Johnny Walker. I had Zhang Mingyang winning this fight, but he didn't. And Alonzo Menafield just lost to Volkan Ozdemir. So, like, the only guy that you could really push to be like a new threat other than Carlos Ulberg, who again I still think is gonna lose to uh, Alex Perez, Volkan Ozdemir. It's a little bit early to see how he's gonna fare against top contenders like he is undefeated, but I still think he just isn't gonna be able to stand a chance against Alex Pereira. Now Alex Pereira is getting old, but still I just don't think anyone in this division there's any new blood in this division that's gonna pose a threat to Alex Pereira. Um, so that's basically my analysis of this, and it's like, could Ankalaev beat him again? I don't think so. Like, could Yuri Prohaska win again? Maybe he's improved, but he still leaves his chin so open. It's like in order to get activated in his fights, he needs to get chinned. But when Alex Pereira chins him, he gets KO'd. So that really doesn't work. Khalil Roundtree just isn't good enough to be in that top title contention, and neither is Jan Blachowicz for that matter. So really, your options are give Yuri Prohaska a third title shot to probably lose, give Jan Blachowicz, or not Jan Blachowicz, or give Carlos Ulberg a deserved title shot that he's probably gonna lose. And then after that, you got not Volkan Ozdemir, sorry, Azamat Murzakanov, that still needs at least one, I would say two fights to get to that top title contention. So yeah, that's why light heavyweight is ranked number six. I still love Alex Pereira. He's my favorite champ in the UFC, but there's just not much competition for him in this division right now. Moving up to number five, we've got middleweight. Um, Middleweight is not a bad division in terms of like the contenders in it. I think it's a really fun division, but um, none of these guys pose a threat to Hamzat Chimaev, and this is a ranking where the champion brings the division down. Not because of his style. I'm not going to bring a champion down because of his style. Like, if he's that dominant, he's that dominant, no matter what his style is. Like, it's can't really hate on him for that. I personally can, but I'm not going to let that get in the way of a ranking. But it's just the fact that Hamzat is so inactive. Like, apparently he's going to be out till May now, April or May. Dude, that is like it. It holds the division up so much, and there's just nothing the top contenders can do about it. But like if you look at the top five for middleweight, like it's a really good. Like Imavov is definitely next for his title shot. Like Trick is super fun. Strickland is pretty boring, but he's good, I guess. The more I think about it, I'm like, all right, this guy might have fluked a win over Izzy. Like he dominantly beat Izzy, but it might have been a big fluke because he just hasn't been able to replicate that success ever, and that might have been the start of washed Izzy as well. But Fluffy Hernandez is my like favorite guy in title contention right now. Actual definition of a dark horse in the division. Um, you could arguably give him the title shot, but you would be just completely skipping over Imavov, and I think Imavov has kind of deserved his title shot. I don't think he needs another uh, number one contender fight. I feel like he's done his fill of number one contender fights at this point. But I just don't think Imavov has what it takes to beat Hamzat. Fluffy might have what it takes, but like we are living in a world where Brendan Allen is in the top five, and that brings me to the rest of the division. You've still got washed Izzy in the top 10, hasn't won a fight since 2023, over 2 years at this point. Kyle Borjalho, I like him, but he isn't like I think he's good for the top 10, but like nothing really past that. Like obviously he can always improve, but he had a war with Jared Cannonier. Um, so yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory. Rainier DeRitter thought he was going to be a top guy, quit on his stool against Brendan Allen. I don't know what happened to him there, and he said he had the norovirus. Could be true, might just be lying to cover up the fact that he quit on a stool. So he's out of any title picture for a while. Robert Whitaker, one of my favorite fighters of all time. Uh, Kind of washed. Jared Cannonier, definitely washed. Michael Venom Page, boring. Like his style of striking is so Ian Gary's style is like boring, but like there are some exciting moments that it can have, I guess. If he lands a good shot, he might blitz. Like, dude, MVP will never blitz, dude. He will land one punch and back away immediately and get into his like jumping around with his arms down stance. So, and I just don't think that style is going to work at the top level. So I think he's going to remain comfortably in that position uh, for the foreseeable future. He's getting up there as well. He might not stay in the UFC for long. Roman Dolidze, fraud. I'm so glad Fluffy Hernandez fraud checked him. That was one of my favorite fights of the year just because of the result. Paulo Costa, it's good to see him get a win, but his inactivity hurt him so badly. Marvin Vittori, his chin just isn't what it used to, and it's cool to see RoboCop in the rankings now. But yeah, middleweight is actually a pretty good division in the top five. Past that, not as much. You got a array of washed guys and frauds. Um, that's pretty much actually the entire. Uh, that's like the bottom 10 of the top 15, pretty much summed up perfectly in a sentence right there. The top five is decent to excellent. The number 6 through 15 are all right, I guess. Pretty washed and just not that great. And the champ is highly inactive and pretty boring. So there you go. That's middleweight in a nutshell. And now we're going up to the top half. The top half massively is like a huge improvement on the bottom half, like compared to the bottom half of this list. And this might surprise some people, but I'm putting bantamweight at number 4. I was really torn between this and featherweight, but when I look at bantamweight, the title picture is just not that great because like the top 15 itself is actually pretty good. I don't think it's as good as people say it is. People act like it's like 2022, 2023 UFC lightweight division, and it's just not. People act like without quoting bedtime MMA. It's like, oh, dude, it's murderer's row out here. It's like it is. Like he makes fun of that as well. It's not like murderer's row like they say. Um, but it's still great in my opinion. But Marab is too good. Marab is legit too good because here's the title picture for bantamweight right now summed up. Piotr Jan is gonna fight Marab and he's gonna lose. I'm saying that right now. I'm gonna make a predictions video soon, or not next week, the week after. Pretty much. Yeah, is it? Yeah, about a week from now. I'll make a predictions video. But yeah, Piotr Jan is gonna fight Marab and lose. Uh, and then that basically leaves Umar Nurmagomedov to fight Marab again. Could he win? Yes, and he looked incredible in his fight against Mario Batista. But that's just it. It was against Mario Batista. Marab is a different level. I think Marab wins again. Uh, and then at that point, if Sean O'Malley and Corey Sandhagen haven't gotten a win or two together by that point, you give Song Yadong the title shot. Marab's gonna destroy Song Yadong if that happens. Like, and then you got Davis and Figueiredo, Ayman Zahabi. Like, past this Piotr Jan fight and a Umar rematch, which is definitely the next uh like I say 6 months of bantamweight. That's what's gonna happen. There's just not much because you've got Sean O'Malley, who, if he fights Marab a third time, is going to lose. Then you got Corey Sandhagen, who, if he fights Marab again, he's going to lose. And then Davison Figueiredo, Ayman Zahabi, Marlon Vera, Mario Batista, they can't beat Marab. They don't have what it takes. Davison Figueiredo is close to retirement. I'm tired of acting like Ayman Zahabi is actually good. Marlon Vera got destroyed by Sean O'Malley. Uh, Mario Batista, he's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, Mario Batista is pretty good. He did just lose to Umar, but he did show that he's in it more than I thought he was. I hated him for a very long time. Well, not a very long time. I don't know if it's been a year yet. It hasn't. The Jose Aldo performance. Um, and past those guys, Henry Cejudo's never fighting for a title again. Um, David Martinez, he beat Rob Font. That's cool. It doesn't really prove much. Uh, a unanimous decision win over Rob Font isn't terrible. It's not great. Then that goes to Rob Font, who he is also never never touching a title again. Vinicius Oliveira is the next, he's the next guy, up and coming guy in this division, and that's what we think. And even then, so far, you've beaten Saeed Nurmagomedov, Kyler Phillips. It's not a, it's not super impressive. And then that leaves Kyler Phillips and Marcus McGee. And Marcus McGee, I'm just gonna skip over Kyler Phillips. Is not exactly worth talking about. Marcus McGee is better than I thought. He's actually pretty good. He was able to hold his own against Piotr Jan, but he's not touching that title anytime soon unless he gets a massive win against like Corey Sandhagen out of nowhere. They like book him against a top five guy. Um, so yeah, there's just not much that can happen with the titles, like with title fights in this division. And outside of Piotr Jan and Umar, who I think will both still lose to Marab in their second go around with him, none of these guys can beat him. So yeah, that's bantamweight summed up. Um, and outside of the top 10, like the last division I talked about, I'm like, outside of the top five, it's not even like these guys aren't even like good. That's different. Like all the guys in the top 15 of bantamweight are good. It just comes down to like how close these guys are to a title fight, how they can feasibly get to a title fight, and if they can win it, and and how active the division can be. And Marav's keeping the division active, but with his activity level, I feel like he's never gonna move up to featherweight. Um, he is gonna be fighting guys that just don't deserve it, and he's gonna get to the point of like he's so good he's unpopular. Like he's whipping these guys so badly he's unpopular. People are like, I'm tired of Marav. That's what bantamweight's going to become in the next couple of years. I feel like that's why bantamweight's at number 4 and number 3. I said I was this spot was between bantamweight and featherweight. Featherweight's number 3. Uh, Featherweight gets automatic points because Volk is the champ. It just feels incredible to have this guy with the belt again. And there are actual guys that could compete and potentially win title fights here, which is why it's actually ranked higher. Like, if you look at the top 5, Movsar Evloev should definitely be up next. I feel like that should be the January pay-per-view, the start of the Paramount era. I think Volk versus Evloev would be a great start to it. Uh, I think Volk wins, but still competitive fight. Evloev is 19-0, so it's still worth it still can be very competitive, and there's always a chance that Evloev wins. Um, and like Lerone Murphy, you could argue Lerone Murphy deserves the title shot off of that insane win over Aaron Pico. Again, it was Aaron Pico, but still, such a good win against Aaron Pico. Uh, and then Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez, he you could argue he needs one more win, but he kind of it has set himself up for another title shot. If he wants to fight maybe Lerone Murphy, maybe Yair, he would destroy Yair Rodriguez. Yair's never going near that title again. But you could potentially set up like a number 1 contender fight between Diego Lopez and Lerone Murphy while Movsar Evloev versus Volk goes on. That would be great. Um, Aljo is still decent. I don't think he's going to fight for the title. Well, you got Arnold Allen, who's there, who definitely is within the distance of fighting for a title. He's got 1 or 2 more fights but he's like definitely moving up. I mean, we don't want Yusuf Zalal going anywhere near the title, but that could potentially be happening. Hopefully, someone puts a stop to that. Uh, and then like Steve Garcia, he's you know Steve Garcia is all right. Maybe he'd just be David Onama, but he he's on a win streak. Brian Ortega's washed. So is Josh Emmett for that matter. But Gene Silva, listen, he did lose to Diego Lopez, but that's not like a bad thing. I mean, losing in general is bad, but Diego Lopez is really good. But and it was he was keeping it competitive. Like if I remember correctly, he pretty badly lost that first round, but in that second round, he was going crazy. Like until Diego Lopez hit him with that elbow that kind of cracked him and ended the fight. It was like round by round. Like first round was easily Diego, and then that second round was like shaping up to be easily Gene Silva's round until Diego was able to end it. But like he's still a beast. Like he destroyed Bryce Mitchell when he was still in featherweight. Like so he's an up and coming guy. Patricio Pitbull's at the end of his career, so he doesn't even count. Dan Ige is always reliable. I actually like David Onama and Giga Chikadze, but actually I don't really care for Giga Chikadze that much. But I actually do like David Onama. Um, I think I don't think he's gonna be near title contention, but he still is a actually he's got a couple years. He could definitely do it. He did just lose to Steve Garcia though. So there is that. But featherweight, just when you compare it to bantamweight, it has more like the way the title is kind of what title fights are going to happen, the way number one contender fights are going to happen, the way like fights can happen in this division. It's just way better organized than bantamweight, and there is room for competition and actual challengers for the belt, where I feel like that just is non-existent in bantamweight. Uh, that's why I chose to rank featherweight higher than bantamweight. Uh, moving into our top two, I really actually deliberated with where I wanted to put these divisions because they are both so good. And if you asked me a week ago, it would have been more definitive because of just the lack of like a true number one contender in lightweight. But now it is, even though it is more clear, I'll still be ranking lightweight at number two. And that's because um, this division is still, if you look at the division itself, it probably is still the best one overall. But I feel like we've got all these divas in this division, man. Like it's yeah, it definitely is actually now that I'm looking at it. Like it definitely is still the best overall, just looking at the fighters. But like uh when you look at lightweight, like it's clear that Arman Sarukian is the number one contender and should be fighting for the belt. And after that, you've basically got what I think should happen in the meantime is Charles and Max should fight, see who the number one contender is, because Charles should not fight Ilya again on a one fight win streak. He will the same result will probably happen. So I feel like just sort out a true number one contender instead of just throwing Charles to the Wolves again should happen. But after that, Gaethje and Patty should also have a fight against each other. Both of these guys are like, I want a title fight. No, I want a title fight. Like, and the fact that Gaethje's threatening to retire if he doesn't get like his title shot, like Rufus, I love you. Just go retire then, because you don't deserve a title shot. And he's being an absolute baby about it, and it's so stupid. And so that's the only reason. That's the real reason lightweight is slightly lower than the number one that I have on my list. Um, and like lightweight still has super entertaining guys, like Dan Hooker. Like he just lost, but he's super entertaining. Um, we're not going to talk about Mateusz Gamrot. Like him and entertaining can't be in the same sentence. BSD super entertaining. Rafael Fiziev is actually pretty cool. He's overhyped, but by Joe Rogan, but still pretty cool. I love Money Moicano. He's a personal favorite of mine. Michael Chandler, negative fight IQ, pretty fun to watch. Benil Dariush, unfortunately washed. Fun while it lasted though. Grant Dawson, Islam Makhachev, I'm your replacement. He's there as well. Mauricio Rufy, he did lose to BSD, but it he is also super entertaining the way he fights. It reminds you of like featherweight Conor McGregor. Um, and yeah, we've also got. Wait, dude, what? What is your name actually? Hold on. Sorry, Ignacio Bahamondes. Sorry, I don't know how I forgot his name for a second. But yeah, I mean, he just lost to Fiziev, so. Uh, but yeah, this is such a excellent division. Uh, and I didn't even talk about Ilia Topuria. Pr Probably, if you just, I mean, arguably the best fighter. I'd say he is number two. Like, regardless of what pound for pound says, I still think he's number two. Um, He is incredibly entertaining. He's chinned all my favorite fighters, but he is still super entertaining, regardless. And he is also being a bit of a diva himself, asking to move straight to welterweight. Like, dog, you gotta defend your lightweight title at least once before you can even consider moving up to welterweight. He thinks shit is sweet and that he's just gonna immediately go to welterweight. It's like, dude, gotta defend your title once. Like, I know you have Dana White privilege and all that, but you gotta do it at least one time, dude. But so yeah, I I love lightweight. It's probably, if I think about like personal favorites, it's probably my personal favorite division because my goat Charles Oliveira, he is my favorite fighter of all time. Um, Max Holloway, one of my top five all time. I have a soft spot for Justin Gaethje, but he is pissing me off right now. Like, this is such a good division, but it is also slowly becoming a division of unks. Uh, Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway. Max Holloway isn't full unk yet. Neither is Charles. Justin Gage. Justin Gage is close to retirement. Dan Hooker's pretty close to retirement. Hopefully, Gamrot retires like today. Um, but Moicano's getting out there. Chandler's getting out there. Dariush is washed. Like, this is kind of a division of unks. But like, dude, 2 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, like, this was all time potentially the best division in the UFC. And there's still remnants of that. I mean, obviously there is because it's still my number two division, but I just don't think it is at the level of the number one division in the UFC, which is obviously welterweight. Um, it's not my favorite division. Like I said, lightweight is my favorite division, but pure skill and just activity, uh, welterweight takes it. And this is like gonna become the new lightweight because you got all of these young guys that are in the top 15 right now. Like, it's at the point it's a little more advanced in the cycle than lightweight. Like, all the unks are being phased out. As you can see based on how the rankings look. And all of the new guys are at the top of the heap now. And I sound like Joe Rogan when I said that, top of the heap. Uh, sorry, but yeah, like, you've got like Islam, pound for pound number one guy in the UFC. Absolutely in the GOAT conversation right now. JDM, even though he just lost terribly to Islam, I still love him. Like, Ian Gary, you piss me off, but you're really good. Shavkat, 19-0. He did have a boring fight against Ian Gary, who he nearly lost to, but we don't talk about that. It got erased from the history books. Michael Morales, just TKO'd Sean Brady. Bilal, you're slowly getting phased out, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, how much you like him. Carlos Prates, absolute beast, knockout artist, just KO'd Leon Edwards. Sean Brady, he did just get KO'd by Michael Morales, but he's still really good. Usman, I am still the boogeyman of this division. Uh, he won his fight in Atlanta not that long ago, back in June, I think. Leon Edwards, you are getting phased out. Joaquin Phoenix, he did lose to Usman, but he's still good. I still think he can stay in that top 10, even get to that top. Actually, I don't even know if he can get to that top. He could probably be Bilal. Actually, now that I think about it, I think he could be Bilal. He's not as technically good as Gary though, so uh, Bilal actually probably would beat him. I don't know. I'd actually have to think about that. But yeah, and like, matchmaking is pretty clear for this division. I think Gary should fight Islam. I think Gary will lose to Islam. But like, Shavkat, he did have a title shot lined up, but I do think that it's best if he fights Michael Morales. Like here, you can match up the division up perfectly right now. So you've got actually yeah. So you got Gary versus Islam. You should actually do JDM versus Shavkat just to see. That'll really be a test to see if JDM is actually ready for an Islam rematch because like Ilio is right in saying that he should have a full camp dedicated to wrestling. Shavkat's insane at grappling. That will kind of prove if he's ready for that Islam rematch. Michael Morales should probably fight. Michael Morales should probably fight Carlos Prates. Um, Sean Brady can either fight Usman or Bilal. Um, and Usman should fight one of those guys. Like it should uh, go like that. Joaquin Buckley, I might have actually said when I was on Joaquin Buckley, I might have said Joaquin Phoenix. That's coming to my mind that I might have said that. So I apologize if I did, but I'm not sure. Joaquin Buckley uh, could fight potentially Sean Brady, maybe Leon Edwards, maybe Bilal. Like there are clear matches to be made, and like ranks 10 to 15, these guys are all getting phased out. Like I love Gilbert Burns. I've met Gilbert Burns. He's awesome. But he's at the end of the line at this point. Um, Gabriel Bonfim. Gabriel Bonfim actually is also on the come up right now. I don't know if he's at that level that these top five guys are at. Um, but if you look at all of these other guys in the like ranks 10 to 15 in the welterweight top 15, like you could honestly match these guys up. Uh, I heard there are rumors that D-Rod may not be fighting again. So if that is the case, you could honestly match Gilbert Burns with Colby Covington and match Jeff Neal with Gabriel Bonfim. I think that's perfect matchmaking right there. Like welterweight works so perfectly, and the fact that the guys in the top five are like young, they want that belt, they're hungry. Like it is such a good division right now, and it's going to be the next lightweight in my opinion. And yeah, it's about it. This is by far the longest video that I've ever made. I didn't expect it to actually go this long, go on these little rambles. Uh, so yeah, those are my top, not my top. These are my rankings of each division in the UFC. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Oh, remember to subscribe. And yeah, that's about it. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy these types of ranking videos. Maybe some tier list videos as well. But yeah, just let me know if you enjoyed this, and that's about it. See ya.